Project-based learning and problem-based learning are two popular instructional approaches in 21st century classrooms. In this presentation, I will be comparing and contrasting these two frameworks. Project-based learning is an instructional framework that is centered on inquiry, putting a greater onus on the students to direct their own learning and shifting the role of educator from sage on the stage to that of a facilitator or a guide on the side. Project-based learning is a collaborative approach to learning. In project-based learning, students pursue solutions to a problem by asking and refining questions, debating ideas, making predictions, collecting and analyzing data, drawing conclusions, and communicating their findings to others. At its heart, problem-based learning is quite similar to project-based learning. According to PCOR, problem-based learning is an approach in which students are led through a process that involves objectives, problems, research experiences, solution development activities, and assessments. Using case studies or open-ended problems, also known as messy problems, students work through a series of steps to define the problem, inventory what is known and what must be discovered, formulate proposed solutions, and share their findings. Problem-based learning, while very similar in nature to project-based learning, differs in several key aspects. First, problem-based learning is often focused within a single subject area, while project-based learning is typically interdisciplinary in nature. Another difference relates to the duration of the tasks, with project-based learning taking longer periods of time than problem-based learning. While problem-based learning is organized sequentially by a prescribed series of steps, project-based learning is less specific in nature. The two approaches also differ in product. In problem-based learning, the product can be simply the presentation of a proposed solution to the problem, whereas in project-based learning, the product is often a student-created product that displays or presents their learning. To better compare and contrast these two frameworks, I will examine the topic of water pollution from both a project-based learning approach and a problem-based learning approach. First, let's look at a problem-based learning approach. Problem-based learning begins with a teacher-chosen, open-ended or messy problem. Here's a possible problem. You live in a small village in the Awash Malkasa region of Ethiopia. You and your fellow villagers get your drinking water from the Awash River. Drinking the polluted water is leading many in the village to get sick and even die. Your job is to research and evaluate different water purification systems that will cleanse the water of bacteria and pollutants. You must then write a request to the United Nations Children's Fund to request the donation of the water purification system for your village. With this problem assigned by the teacher, students would then need to follow a set series of steps to reach a proposed solution. To begin, the students would need to define the problem. Next, students would then need to assess what information is already known about the problem. They should consider their prior knowledge relating to the issue of water pollution, as well as considering what they know about how water is purified and what effects can occur from drinking polluted water. Once students have established what is known regarding the problem, they must then brainstorm ideas and develop possible hypotheses. Students may choose to begin by identifying different options for water treatment systems that would be practical and affordable. Once students have assessed their current knowledge, developed ideas, and formed hypotheses relating to the problem, they must then examine what they do not yet know or understand about the problem. Students may consider forming questions that need to be answered to proceed. Some questions may be, what water treatment systems are available? What systems are already in place in similar African villages? And how do different systems compare in cost, ease of use, and effectiveness? Students must develop a clear plan of action to collect pertinent information relating to the problem. Due to the collaborative nature of problem-based learning, an important element is in the management of the work. It is important for students to establish who is responsible for what tasks. Students must then begin to locate and organize relevant information relating to their inquiries. The students must then analyze the data they have collected in order to draw conclusions and inform decisions. In this scenario, students would need to analyze the available information to determine which water treatment system would be the best choice to request funding from UNICEF. The final step in the problem-based learning model is in the presentation of the students' findings. In problem-based learning, students have choice in their method of presentation. Whatever method they choose, this is their opportunity to share their solution to the problem and highlight what they have learned throughout the process. Now, let's take a look at this topic from a project-based learning approach. One way that project-based learning differs from problem-based learning is that it begins with the end product in mind. According to Larmer and Mergendaler, project-based learning is an effective means to teach content. However, teachers must put thought and planning to ensure significant content is learned. To do this, educators must begin by examining the standards and identifying important concepts and ideas that will have an impact on learning. By ensuring the focus is on essential understandings, teachers can begin to plan projects that will be relevant and focused on significant content. Relating to the topic of water pollution, essential understandings might relate to the importance of clean drinking water for a community, or how water systems treat water for bacteria and pollutants. Once teachers have established the significant content, they must next motivate and engage students. To do this, teachers must connect the learners with the content in a meaningful way. In a project-based learning approach, this is often accomplished through an entry event which seeks to stimulate student interest and prompt inquiry and questioning. Connecting students with the content will help to promote inquiry and motivate students throughout the project. Relating to the topic of water pollution, teachers may choose to watch a film on the effects of contaminated water, or bring in a local expert on water pollution to talk with the class. The next step in project-based learning is the development of the driving question. This can be developed by either the teacher or the students, but this question is essential as it drives the students' inquiry throughout the project. To write a strong, clear driving question, it must remind the students of the project's purpose. According to Larmer and Mergendaler, a driving question can be abstract, concrete, or focused on solving a problem. For this project, a possible driving question may be, how can contaminated water be effectively treated for little cost? For project-based learning to be truly effective, teachers must provide students with plenty of opportunities to direct their learning. Giving students voice and choice ensures students have the ability to draw on their personal learning styles and interests. Providing more voice and choice also ensures student ownership over the project and helps to promote engagement and motivation. In this scenario, teachers may want to give students as much freedom as possible, allowing them to direct their inquiry based on the driving question, as well as choosing their final product. 21st century skills and themes are central to project-based learning. Effective project-based learning focuses learning on the 4 C's: collaboration, critical thinking and problem solving, creativity and innovation, and communication. Technology skills often play an important role in project-based learning as well, as students use technology to research topics, communicate with experts and their team, and to produce projects, reports, and presentations. Questioning is an important part of project-based learning. Aside from the driving question, students must work to examine the issue, generating a list of relevant questions that would need to be answered to drive the project forward. Larmer and Mergendaler state that in real inquiry, students follow a trail that begins with their own questions, leads to a search for resources and the discovery of answers, and which ultimately leads to generating new questions, testing ideas, and drawing their own conclusions. Peer revision is another important element in project-based learning. Once the students begin nearing the end, it is important for them to come together with their peers to seek feedback. Using the project's rubrics and any exemplars, students can give one another feedback that can help them enhance their work. It is vital that students realize that quality work is expected of them and that feedback and revision are important components in delivering high-quality work. Because project-based learning begins with the end in mind, the public presentation of the product is a key component of this instructional model. By presenting to a wide audience, the project takes on a high level of authenticity and makes the work highly meaningful for the students. Project-based and problem-based learning are two effective instructional approaches that promote 21st century skills. Not only do these two approaches engage and motivate students, they also promote self-regulatory skills as students learn to set goals, monitor progress, and reflect on their learning. Prompting inquiry and problem-solving through relevant, meaningful, and authentic work, students are able to deepen their understanding of the curriculum while developing skills needed to be successful in the 21st century.